when you can't make a shot, it doesn't look very pretty, and neither team could make a shot in the first half. And the way we started the second half, I didn't think we were going to get a shot with the turnovers that occurred. But finally we made a basket. I think Akil made a basket, a three, and it seemed as if everybody felt a little more relaxed. And 27 threes is too many, but 7 for 17 second half is pretty good. So I feel good that I didn't have to go to plan double Z and put JJ in. I almost did. He got his hand hit a little bit the other night, and it swelled on him a little bit. So I said, let's see if we can not have you play. They X-rayed it again. He's fine, but we just felt like, let's see if we can get by without him. And it put us 2 or 3 people behind the curve, but it gave others an opportunity to play, and we managed to get a victory. So I think we'll be better for it in the long run. I'm glad we didn't have to put him in. So we look forward to taking a few days off, and I know the players do also. We will reconvene 6 p.m. on the 26th to get ready for St. Catherine's on the 27th and Colorado State on the New Year's Day. Any questions?
So he was available tonight, but just on an emergency basis? Is that the...
Yeah, that was kind of my call, and JJ is such a willing guy. I don't know, hard for me to tell whether he was in total agreement that that's what he wanted to do. He said, yeah, I think that's okay, and so he knew he wasn't going to start, and he knew that if we didn't need him, he wasn't going to play. So that was the game plan.
How close did you get to putting him in?
I told him, JJ, go get loose. Go get loose.
When was that?
That was after they made 7 straight to start the second half. But then we made a couple baskets, and I said, well, I'm going to wait another minute or two. And then all of a sudden we had enough of a lead where I said, well, let's just see what happens. And then obviously we didn't need him. Anybody else, anything?
It seemed like the pace of the game, how you mentioned how shots weren't falling, the pace of the game continued. It was very fast, a lot of turnovers going on. Would you prefer them to play through that kind of stuff, or was there any point where you like, we got to slow down?
I think you have to have the ability to run as hard as you can and know when you've got something that's good and know when you don't. I thought the shot, for the most part, I thought our shots were pretty good. But I also thought that when we put it to the floor and drove, especially in the first half, everybody, and that included Xavier, the guy who's been playing lights out for us, we didn't look like we were going too fast. So at halftime I said, you have to have the ability to, when you drive it, to put yourself in slow motion and see what's developing. It was almost like we were out of control as we were going in. And everything was, the closer we got to a defender, the more tunnel vision we became. And I thought we were much, much better at that in the second half. In terms of getting in gaps, we looked like we knew we were under control. We looked like we were going to be able to make a play. But making shots, you make shots, everything else is going to look better. And we guard. For the most part, we play good defense. And our defense should keep us in games even when we shoot 0 for 10 from three-point range. Matt better get a lot of Christmas presents because he got coal in his stocking tonight when those shots that he had, that 3 or 4 of them were in but didn't go in. So, but we guarded fairly effectively. We did not do a good enough job when we pressed them and they got going and shot. We gave them too many second shots. I think they had 14 offensive rebounds. That's too many.
Can you talk about Winston and your decision not to start him and how you felt he played, particularly in the second half?
I thought Winston was one of the guys that, you know, I talked about AQ making a shot. I thought Winston got us going. Got in some gaps, and he made 2 or 3 passes that had, you know, should have been assists that we didn't finish and didn't get to go down. Made good decisions getting people the ball. And Winston has a knack of being able to get fouled and get to the free throw line. And he made his free throws. Stepped the line and made free throws for us. So I thought he did a really good job and played under pretty good control.
It seemed to him like it was pretty important for him to come out and play well, show you and show his teammates that he was back and focused and ready after you taking him out the other game.
I thought Winston would play the way he has played and we expect him to play. When we've practiced, he's been good. He's been very alert, attentive. He's inquisitive. He will be unafraid to ask questions as the practice are going on and the game is going on, and not out of disrespect, but to understand. He's probably our best communicator. So he didn't play any differently than I thought he would in terms of his effort and intelligence. He's practiced that way. That got it?
Well, Coach, you're about 10 games into the season now. Do you have an idea of where this team, how good this team can be? I know it's early in the season still, but at the 10-game mark, do you have a better idea of how good this team can be or where they're at?
I know that when we get into league play, every game will be hard, home or away. And you'll have some grinded out games. You'll have some games when you don't shoot well, like we did tonight in the first half. You have to find other ways to be productive. You have to allow and trust that your defense will be good enough to keep you in games so that when you start making a few, it'll matter. So I like our team. We've got wonderful, wonderful kids that care about winning and care about one another, and that gives you a chance. So I haven't really watched, other than scores, too much of our league, guys in our teams in our league, but I know that our first game at Colorado State will be hard. It'll be a tough game, and we'll have to be ready. I know we will be, but every game we better be ready to play.